Yo, check 1 2. All right, the mic is on, the levels is on. We back once again in the spot. Episode 3. This podcast does not have a title yet. I'm working on it. The currently untitled Beatmaker, powwow discussion hour, and just bringing the homies through and having everybody, chop it up about making beats. And today I have a very special guest, New York's own. A man who needs very little introduction, but I'm going to introduce him. It's my guy, beat maker, rapper, producer, engineer, whatever you need, you know what I mean, a curator, and just somebody who really is constantly putting on for the community. So no further ado, shout out, let's all welcome my man's Hooks Arthur. What's good, brother?
Yo, thank you for having me.
Yo, thank you for being here, man. I was telling Sudoku on episode 1, I was like, once I do that little intro, I might drop some applause, but
some applause. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
But I'm going back and forth with it, and I was just saying a second ago before we started rolling, like we keeping it raw, man. This shit gonna feel like a phone conversation, so I might just drop these joints as is. But thank you again, man. Thank you for agreeing to pull up on the show and drop some knowledge, man. I appreciate that.
Of course, you my guy, bro.
Man, anytime.
I'm probably cooler with you than 95% of the people I know in this shit.
And that's real, bro. And I know that you mean that, and I believe you when you say that because real recognize real. And on some real shit, you're the first person that I did a show with when I moved back to the East Coast.
Oh, wow.
The first person, dude. And I don't even know how you got my contact or how you heard of me or what, but like you reached out on some like, yo, bro, you trying to do this show up in New York? And I was like, I just moved back to the East Coast, man. Like, let's get it. And yeah, man, that's a big part of the reason why I know a lot of the last episode was Benji. I met Benji at that show.
Oh, shoot. No, I'm listening to my fault.
Oh, no, you good. I was saying, I last episode was Benji, and I met Benji at that show.
Oh, shit. Yo, it's crazy because, like, there's obvious reasons why we do these shows, right? We want everybody to get their own shine. Particularly the rapper and the producer, which is why, I did what I did. And, I plan on continuing again soon, but it's the reason why we do what we do, so we can give everybody equal shine. But one thing I didn't really account for as much was how many people might be connected through these shows, right? So as time went on, I'd be doing these shows and, I'd have 4 or 5, maybe 6 people booked. And then later on, some of them same people will be working on a music video, working on a song, or this person's doing this with this guy. And it's like you start to bridge so many gaps doing the shows and shit. Yeah. So like same thing with you. It's like there's certain people that we all connected with through these shows. You know what I mean? It's people I've met for the first time at my show. You know what I mean? You come through and thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. But there's a lot of how should I say? It's a lot of connecting that comes with these shows that I appreciate a lot, and it ultimately helps the community out because it's not about me when it comes to those shows. When I do my music and I do my own albums and shit, it's about me. But when I'm curating something like that, that's for everybody, and my whole shit comes last.
Man, you're very real for that because a lot of people are not able to really make that distinction and they want to do some shit and like put something out there, like, or do an event or something to get people aware of what they're doing instead of really shining a light on who they're bringing out and, building that community. And not just Benji. I mean, I met Micah right there at that show and reached out to him not too long after for my show. I met No Face at that show. Like, that was a good ass show. And all them shows were good. All the Record Everything joints were like super fire. Tap in with Hooks, man. I'm going to keep saying it throughout the thing because, again, like this is somebody that's really putting on for the community in such a way that, to the point, like I said, I had just moved back to the East Coast. Now, granted, I'm from the East Coast. Like, I know people out here, but not in this scene. And that was like the first thing that kind of, put me into that scene. So, again, like a sincere, I appreciate you for that, man.
Yeah, that was such a great moment in time. Just so I was doing REC consistently for maybe about a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
And it was hectic. Don't get me wrong, it was very hectic because it was typically me and 1 or 2 other people, 3 if I'm lucky. But, I appreciate all of you guys because it'd be certain people like you, Pages, when my man Snotty comes through. There's a couple people that like are involved in the scene that may not have even come through to perform, but that they're there to support. And I might be short-handed on something, and somebody's like, "Yo, I got you." You know what I mean? Somebody has a knowledge base here and can help out somewhere, because I done dealt with situations with weird sound setups and just weird setups in general, to where it's just like, I might need a couple more hands on deck, and people end up helping me out with that.
Man, that's the beauty of these beat shows for real, because it'd be a bunch of nerds in the crowd, bro. Somebody would be like, "Oh no, I have that cable like with me, like in my bag." You know what I mean? So that shit. Oh, and you know what? And I met Freddie Stone at that show.
Oh, okay.
And me and Freddie been locked in ever since. So I mean, I say all that to say, community oriented individual right here putting on. So not just for your own music, but for others. And I just wanted to point that out right quick, because that's some super real shit. And everybody not really built like that, and everybody not trying to do all that, and they don't understand necessarily how much further you could get by putting everybody on than just by making sure that you're on, because you can't even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Hey,
no, do your thing, bro.
I'm doing an interview right now. I know, it's comfortable. It's super comfortable. No, you good. I'll be in a little bit.
That don't look comfortable. That actually brings me to what I wanted to talk, because this is a beat podcast, man. We talking about beats, and at that show, you were playing beats and then you were rapping, and you were, I don't think I need to tell you that you're obviously a very gifted MC. Everybody knows that if you could rap in front of people and they gonna know that you nice. You could be rapping at the park, niggas would be like, he nice. But as far as the beats, maybe to like an untrained ear, some people can't really tell the difference between like a good beat set or like something that's really, but your beat set is just as clean and just as on point, and like the transition's real smooth and the mix is real good. And I guess the question really is, how did you get to that point of getting your live beat performances to sound that good and to come across that cleanly?
I've built a formula over the past seven years, maybe, because I make all my beats on my SPs typically, with few exceptions. Yo, Michael, you mind if I get that drink whenever you get the chance? Oh, the drink. Now I just don't want to.
No, let me say that because our fridge doesn't work, so it's not cold. So you got to get a cup of ice and pour it.
I don't care. I don't care.
I'm on vacation.
That's why I didn't grab it yet, because I'm like, I forgot to tell you.
Nah, so good. Yo, my fault, Q.
No, bro, you good. You good. This is a relaxed conversation, man. We in here with family, so it's cool.
Surprise me.
We not in no studio, man. We out here with family.
Nah, real shit. Yeah, this is our second spot down south that we all come to.
Nice.
So if me and you end up doing a project or whatever the case, you're always welcome to
Hey,
come
we've been
meet
talking about that for too long, bro. We locking that the fuck in, bro. Seriously,
Nah,
I've been in my bag lately, and I got something for you.
I've had a formula for about like 7 or so years. Like, I started out on the DAWs for a long time. Like, I was on started out in FL Studio like most people. That was for a little bit though. I actually wasn't sampling when I first started making beats. Because I'm not gonna lie. As long as I was listening to music, I never really knew about sampling like that. I knew what sampling was, but I never really knew, oh, this person sampled this person did this way. I just knew that it was a good beat.
Right.
So I was just making shit from scratch. And then, like, kind of, like, sat down with it for a little bit. Like, I didn't really make too many beats. So I was just rapping until I came across someone who I consider to be a mentor of mine. And when I was working on my first project, he convinced me to do all of my beats for the project. So that's what I did, which was all on some of it was on Logic, some of it ended up being on Ableton, because I ended up switching to Ableton at that time. Once I did the first project, once that project was done and it was out, I got my hands on the SP. Once I got my SP, what ended up happening was I got so trigger happy with like all the effects and shit.
Right.
It was mad fucking cool. Like, I got it in like 2018. And I was so trigger happy with the effects. Once I started making more beats on it, I started to kind of like get more of a motivation to do beat tapes. So then what ended up happening was I would make all the beats I would make. I would put them onto the SP. I would play them live straight through. Like, I'd play the whole beat tape straight through.
Right.
And I would chop them up by each song, and that ended up being the formula. I say all that to say, once I started to do beat sets, I kind of treated it the same way, where I would have all of the thank you, bro. I would have all of the beats together. Then what I would do is I would just load up the DAW, play them straight through. So it became a little bit tedious. Just loading them up on the DAW.
Right.
So I just put them on the SP and just put them on each pad and shit. So my first beat set is actually on YouTube. It's literally what I do now. So like I load all the beats up. I'm pretty I try to be pretty cohesive about the beats that I play.
Right.
I try to treat it like a beat tape almost. So I just typically pick all of the things that that sound like they'll transition very well to the next. And then I used to rehearse all the effects and shit to make it sound a certain way too. Now I kind of just do it on the fly.
Right.
And then same thing goes for like, there's certain moments I'll have like little interlude beats. You know what I mean? It'll be a whole bunch of just weird, crazy bangers and shit, crazy drums, maybe a couple loops here and there. And then it'll be that one joint in the middle that clearly sounds like an interlude thing.
Right.
And then eventually what ended up happening was I didn't really know whether or not I wanted to do a rap set or a beat set. So I said, let me do both. And then I was slowly trying to figure that out from the first beat set. I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent a little bit.
No, that's valid.
But it all kind of builds up because I wanted to rap on my first beat set, but I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. So once I figured that out, I kind of like simplified it from how I wanted to do it initially. So now that's pretty much what I do now. Like a majority of my sets are rap/beat sets. Now I'll do a rap set, but that's if I'm rapping on other people's beats or if I'm working with somebody else on something. Then I'll typically just do a rap set, you know, or if the show calls for it.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean I guess in that way it helps to be versatile because you can switch it up. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and that was my thing. It was like, why am I always thinking to myself, oh, I'm gonna do a rap set or a beat set when it's just like I can do both? Why not?
You can do both. Why not?
Unless somebody tells me I can't, then I'm just gonna do both.
Yeah, don't limit yourself. And you of all people for sure, like don't limit yourself. If you could do both, man, fuck. And nobody's gonna be like, man, cut all that rapping out. We want beats. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. Like you up there, it's your time. Like people are gonna understand what you're doing. And especially if you approach it like that and you put it together, in such a way that it's just like a full on listening experience. It's like you're sitting there listening to an album, pretty much. Yeah,
and I'm glad you said that too, because that was my main point. Stylistically and sonically, was more of like I want it to be a listening experience, kind of like how I do REC. Like that's why I have small cards. I like it to be a listening experience. So what I'll do is, like, if you notice, let's say if I have a 15-minute set, I might play like a little intro beat. I might introduce myself as the beat is going. I might not. I might just do it in the beginning. I'll play a beat, then I'll do a song. After the song, I'll go right into the beats. I'll play a couple of beats, then you might hear me rap like 2 or 3 songs. Then I might kick a couple more beats, and then it'll be another like 2 or 3 songs, and I end it right there. It's like you're watching a play almost.
Yeah, and I mean, and it keeps people engaged too, because again, to like the live setting aspect of it, I think a lot of people, what I kind of struggle with, a lot of people don't really know what they're looking at when you're just sitting there playing beats, but everybody knows what rap music is. So if you rapping over the beat, they're like, all right, and then you get down into it and start like hitting buttons and turning knobs, they're like, oh, this guy makes beats. Oh, is that what that is? So like,
right.
I think that brings it all together, and doing a good job of that can really paint the picture for people. So then maybe somebody goes after you, and now the person in the crowd is more locked in on what's actually happening on that box, because a lot of people don't know what that is. People at the bar or whatever, they don't know what that is. So like, you're kind of breaking it down for them, reverse engineering it right in front of them a little bit.
No, you're absolutely right, because the average person, like, if you're playing at a bar or a restaurant or something like that, they might think you're DJing.
Dead ass. And people
It
ask
might
me
just
if I DJ all the time, and I'm like, I wish I could DJ, bro. I'd probably be getting paid right now. I'm like, I make beats and then I play the beats that I made. You know what I mean? But
Right.
they don't know.
No.
And like, if you're not making beats live on some shit and showing that, like live chopping, they're not gonna understand. And that's a different skill set entirely. You know, so like, you don't.
Yeah, because I remember. I don't know if you were there for that show when I had El Flo Todd.
Oh no, I don't think I was at that.
Yeah, he came to that show. He just so happened to be in the States at that time, so I booked him for that one. And he played all of his beats live on the fucking MPC. That shit was crazy. The crowd was like, you saw people's faces melt, bro. It was so crazy.
I got nothing but respect for that, and I love that, and I know I can do that. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe I'm like just nervous or like I'm like a little apprehensive because like, you know, that improvisational nature, especially when you're up there by yourself. Because I am in an improv sample based group with Chop the Head in 16, and like we just did our first show and we killed it, and it was all improv, and that was kind of liberating. But like to make a beat and make sure that it's hard, like live, like on the spot, like, you know, that's some pressure right there. So anybody who could do that, man, shout out to y'all. And the MPC kind of lends itself to that a little bit.
I don't even think I would try that shit.
Nah, that's pressure. But maybe one day. I was going to say, you said you make all your beats on your SP, and you know I'm an SP user as well. What models have you used? What models do you have? Like, what's the range of SP in your world? I know the answer, but I'm asking for the people.
Nah, for sure. Yo, you're like one of the few people who have more SPs than I do. First of all,
Man.
I have so
We're close.
Yeah, we're close. We're close. I have the 303. I have the 505. I have 2 OG 404s just in case one breaks. I have the SX or the A, whatever,
right?
You know, and then I have the MK2.
Word. It's funny actually. Benji was the last episode, and he was talking about the A very highly because you know I always thought they were just the exact same thing, more or less. And he was talking about certain things about the A and the timbre of it, and I'm like, man, Benji's a real nerd with that shit in the most positive way. Like he's the one who's going to know that. You know what I mean? Like
he might know something I don't, because to me it's the same shit.
Yo, he broke it down, and it's fucked up because I just had this conversation like 2 days ago, and I don't remember specifically what he said, but I'm gonna run it back because I got it in the Untitled, and I'll add you to the folder so you can listen to it. But yeah, man, like they do have different. I mean, the older joints, you know, the 303 does sound different than the SX. Like they have different sounds to them, way different. And that new 404 303 joint is like, it sounds cool, but it's not a 303. Nothing can replace a 303.
No, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, if you're gonna get the MK2 for that 303 compressor, like just save your money.
Get a 303. And the MK2 has so much cool shit about it. Like I'm not sitting here to try and hate on that. That shit's fire.
Yo, it's crazy. So first of all, I just want to get this out the way. Like, I don't even recommend people get the 303 all the time. Like, sometimes I tell people not to get that shit because you're spending $500 on something where you can get something way more capable that still has a good sound. We could get back to that. But the MK2, honestly, like, because my favorite SP is the OG 404, and it has been for years.
Good call.
But the MK2 was slowly creeping up there for me.
Man, the bus effects alone.
I know, the bus effects alone.
The bus effects, the skip back, which the 555 has the loop capture, which is super fire.
555 is ill. I wish I had that.
I have a broken one sitting right behind me right now, and that was gonna be my project. I'm gonna try and fix that, John.
Yeah, you should.
But I've been falling off. I've been trying to do too much shit, so I've been doing too much. But I was gonna say, as far as like the SP models, you said the OG 404. Do you like the compressor on the OG 404 more than like the 303 compressor, like Vinyl Sim? Because the OG 404 compressor is tough.
I like them both for different reasons.
Do you care to elaborate on that?
So the 303 adds like a certain kind of dust. It adds a certain kind of, like, it flattens the beat in a certain kind of way but still accentuate certain things like the drums, like the kicks and the snares. Just the vinyl sim and the lo-fi button, like when you press it twice and it goes what's the second one?
It's lo-fi, or it's lo-fi and then it's wait, I have my 303 sitting right here. Hold up. It's lo-fi and it's long and then it's lo-fi.
The long effect is crazy.
Super crazy, especially for drums. I get my kick sounding stupid on that.
Yeah, it just has a certain kind of like I'm trying to figure out the right word to use. For lack of a better word, it just has a certain kind of dust to it.
That is like, the perfect word. I mean, it is dusty as hell.
Yeah, you can't really get that anywhere else. Like, I don't care what you tell me. Program that's out that could sound exactly like the 303. I don't care what lo-fi effect you use on your Ableton or FL Studio. I don't care. It does not sound like a 303.
No, it does not. And oh no, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you up.
So the OG 404. Yo, that the 404 can make any beat, like, yo, you can have the most boring beat, right? And you run it through the 404 compression, it'll sound that much more powerful.
That shit gonna knock.
It's gonna knock. Like all of those study lo-fi beats we make fun of. Like, you could run those through the OG, and that shit will sound.
That shit gonna sound proper, especially with the right. Yeah, like
it has a certain kind of color to it.
Yeah,
that's amazing. It makes everything sound like almost like cinematic. Like, that shit almost sounds like it's like certain beats I done made, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm like making something for an 80s movie or some crazy shit.
Yeah, it's
the
round.
way the fucking kicks hit on the OG. Oh my god! Like the side chain that just comes with that vinyl sim is just different.
Yeah. And you really can't compare them to each other because you can't compare anything to them. Like, they are very much their own sound. It's like trying to compare like a Telecaster to a Stradic, like two different guitars. Like, they just have different tones and qualities to them. And I'm glad you pointed that out. And you pointed out that, you know, it is literally $500. But I remember I got one, I think, for around $400. And I knew what I was doing. Like, I was really sitting there thinking about it. But I was like, for a couple reasons. One, like, as a collector, like, I'm at this point, I'm like a collector of SPs, and I want 100 of each one, you know.
Right.
But so I need to have one. You know, Madlib made masterpieces on it. Like, I just, as a piece of history, I need to have one. Same reason I need to have an MPC 2000. Like, I need to have it. But also, I wanted to challenge myself to try and make beats on it because it is challenging. And see what I could come up with, but I just wanted to run shit through that, you know, through that compressor.
The 2000?
No, on the 303.
Oh, 303, yeah. No, me too.
It's hard to run shit through that. I mean, it's hard to like create that. Like, the pattern sequencer is super capable and super fire, but it just takes a while. It's a slow burn.
I actually resample on the 303.
You know what? That was actually one of my questions. Was are you more of a resample person or a pattern sequence?
I resample all day, bro. I ain't
really.
I resample all day.
Well, that makes sense. I was listening to Hunter Hand Hooks today. Yeah, you know what? Because it's got that like loop thing. You know, it's very loopy, but it's very fire. Like, you get the right loop every time. You know.
Yeah.
Was that was made on the MK2?
It was made on the MK2, the OG, mostly, and the 303.
That's fire, man. I'm really glad that you are using and incorporating the 303 in things that sound like that.
Yeah, like, I ran most of my beats on that through the 303. So, like, with 100 Hand Hooks, everything was a little bit different. So, like, there's some beats I only made with the MK2. There's beats I only made with the OG. There's beats that, like, I made with both. There's beats I made with all three.
Right.
You know?
Do you feel like that helps when it comes to creating like some, you know, a little bit more space within the album, or like just kind of some variations between the beats and making the songs kind of sound a little different, or do you think it makes a difference?
Yeah, I think it makes a difference because all the SPs are, how should I say it? Like, they're similar in how you can make the beats, but they're also very different in some ways. So the way you end up getting to the end process, I mean, the way you end up getting to the end result is different than the from each other. So with the OG 404, like I said, I resample, right? So with the OG 404, if I have a sample, in order for me to chop it, I have to press the sample, I have to mark it, right? I have to mark it to where it sounds where I want it to be. Then I'm going to record it into the next one. Then I go back to pad 1, I play it, I turn the marker off and let it continue. It goes into the next part that I want, I press mark, and then I resample it into the third pad, I go back to the first one, and then so forth, right? So inevitably that becomes a different thing. And then I have drums already preloaded on one bank on my OG. So it's like I'll just listen through, see what kicks I want. Boom, boom, boom. Hat, snares, all of that funny shit. Then I record it into a loop. And then what I'll do is I'll put that on pad 12. And then from pad 1 to 11, I'm just I'm chopping my samples.
Right.
So now when I have all my samples, what I'll do is I'll play the drums and then I just play the samples however I see fit. Then I'll record that in. With the MK2, all I have to do is copy and paste.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could go through my folders and shit. I have a whole bunch of drums already there. All I have to do is just go down the list. The beat kind of like feels like it makes itself, especially when you resample. So the limited amount of space that I have with the OG, the sound of the OG, the sound of the MK2, the accessibility of the MK2, just even recording into there, and then like playing something over it if I want to, and then skipping back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro. You talking about that OG? That joint don't even got it doesn't have a copy function.
No.
And I was so mad when I got my OG because I got my OG after I already had an SX and an A and all these other things. So I got the OG and I was like, wait, how do you copy on this shit? And you don't.
Some of my best beats are on the OG. Like some of my best ever beats. Like, yo, the first song on 100 Hand Hooks, like there's a couple songs, but like the ones I know off top. The first song, the post time skip.
Yeah.
And the last song, the title track.
Yeah.
Are both OG.
I love that last one.
Yeah, those are both OG beats.
Interesting. That's fire, man. And oh wait, and I gotta mention it while I'm thinking about it. There is a way to copy on the OG, but it's very weird. Have you ever seen anything about that?
No.
All right, I gotta find the video and send it to you. And I'm like sitting here forgetting that we're actually doing a podcast, so I'll post it if I find it in wherever I post this. But there is a way, and I did try it, and it does work, but it's a very roundabout way, and it has something to do with you're kind of glitching it. It's like you're trying to move it from the bank to the SD, and then you do some weird shit. It's like a Grand Theft Auto cheat for real. It's like a bunch of buttons and it's like a process, and it will copy it. But it's so roundabout that I was like, this is pointless. I'd rather just do it like you said, do the mark thing.
So the problem with going into the SD card on the OG 404 is once you start doing that, the load times are
exactly. Ridiculous. Yeah, it became a killer, and it wasn't even worth it. It started feeling like I was dealing with the 303. Yeah,
like people. That's why people stay away from the OG, even the SX. Like a lot of people you would see on YouTube where they would be like, oh, I use it as an effects box, but like I can't make beats on it because of this and that, and they'll literally tell you can't make beats on it.
Nah, that's just a straight up lie.
So weird. Yeah, it's weird,
and it's a problem with patience because for real, it just slows you down a little bit, which I think helps me. Like it makes me move a little bit differently and a little more intentionally.
Yo, I actually feel like I make beats faster
Interesting.
on those, yeah, because I feel like I've kind of built like a stream of consciousness mindset of making beats, where it's like when you're resampling, because you're resampling and you're playing everything at one time to see how it sounds, you end up just saying, okay, I like this, and then you just recorded it.
Right, you already made the beat. You don't have to overthink. You don't got to click and drag. You already made the beat. Good point.
Exactly.
Good point. Man, it's so funny because we already like answered a bunch of the questions that I was gonna ask based on where that just went, but that is important, and that's all facts. And I'm just like, I'm cheesing because I'm like, man, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Like, for a podcast to go into, not to pat myself on the fucking back, but for like a discussion that's available to dive into this sort of detail about this specifically, I really think everything you just said is gonna help somebody. Like, actually.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know, and like, it's cool, and it's helping me. I mean, like, it's helpful, you know, across the board. I'm trying to keep it informational, man. We could sit around and bullshit any day we want, but we could spread knowledge, and that would probably be better.
Absolutely.
I had to mention. We know what we didn't talk about other hardware. What other hardware, like beyond the 404? Like, if you're not using SP and you're using a piece of hardware, what do you go to?
Once in a blue moon, I throw on Koala. I like Koala.
Koala's great.
I'm really trying to get myself to really sit down with it because it's nice. Like, I actually have like a couple of songs out in past albums that I made on Koala. I just don't. It's just not often, you know. So this Koala. I still like. Once in a blue moon, I'll throw on Ableton just to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Just for old time's sake, because I've made great beats. Some of my best beats were on Ableton too.
Yeah.
You know. So sometimes I have that, and then I used to crank out the MPD 26.
Oh, for sure.
I still have it. I just don't really use it like that. But that's kind of how the hardware shit started though, because the MPD, like I've always played my drums.
Okay.
Like I've always played my drums.
That's
like,
good.
99% of the beats that I have are my drums, and like there's maybe a couple. I count in one hand how many beats I've actually just looped a drum.
So you're like resampling drums? Like you're resampling a drum pattern?
Nowadays, yeah. Like, so when I was on the door, I would play them out and record them. But ever since I was on the SPs, yeah, I played the drums into a drum loop and then I resample it.
I got to do that more often, man. I really got to do that more often.
I'm surprised more people don't do that shit, bro.
They lack confidence in themselves.
So, all right, so I want to get into this right quick, right?
For
because there's a lot of people that, like, even people that I fuck with, like, and I love their beats, and I ask them how they make their beats, and they're like, yeah, I'll loop some drums on Ableton, and I throw it on the SP. It's like, why aren't you playing your drums on the SP? You might even be playing the sample on it, but you're not playing the drums on it.
Right.
That's the best fucking part, bro, because at the end of the day, everybody has their own individual swing, right? Like, for you to be able to just play it and then just loop it straight like that, like, you can't beat that in terms of a natural feel.
In terms of a natural feel, I would say you're right. Because a second ago, I was about to be like, well, I could say the same thing to you about the pattern sequencer, because I swear by the pattern sequencer now.
No, it's okay. So it's by no means the best in terms of the process. Honestly, it's kind of a weird process. That's why
we can get into it. Now we're on the debate podcast, bro, because I think it's the best. I think it's the fucking best. And you want to know why I think it's the best?
Which one? Which one is the best?
The pattern sequencer. Going back.
No. What I'm saying is the resample method is by no means the best.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like,
I thought you were saying it is the best.
Nah. And that's why.
I see where you're. Okay.
Real quick. That's why I wouldn't recommend any of the SPs before the MK2, because unless you're willing to deal with what comes with the pattern sequencer, you're probably going to be resampling, which that comes with its own host of things to deal with. So, like, in terms of having a natural feel and sound, I feel like it's the best because it forces you into that realm. But in terms of like getting from point A to point B, if you don't know what you're doing, that shit sucks.
True.
I just know what I'm doing because I've spent a long time doing it.
Well, it's interesting because I think I was telling somebody recently that I don't think people should dive right into the MK2 unless they have an appreciation for the SP workflow in general.
Why do you say that?
Because if I've never made a beat on hardware before at all, like I've just been using DAWs or whatever, and I want to try hardware, I would tell somebody to get an MPC Live because it's going to make more sense to a DAW mind. Or even if you've never made a beat before at all, it'll be more visual. You're less likely to give up on it because it's visual and you can understand right away what's happening. For me personally, the SP workflow came after I was trying a couple other DAWs and a couple other more visual things. And so beat making already made sense to me. And so I was able to translate that into the SP. And then I was like, oh, this is weird. But I was more intrigued by the weirdness instead of being deterred by it.
Yeah, you're right. So I totally agree because something like an MPC is going to be the closest thing you're going to get to a DAW without having to sit down on the computer.
Exactly.
So if you like being tactile, like if you like the buttons and the knobs and all of that, an MPC is perfect. And let's even say that's where you want to start at. If you decide, or if you even tell yourself, I have to get a DAW now, you're able to bridge that gap a lot easier being from the MPC world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the MK2, yes, you can sequence on it. Yes, now you can export stems and everything, but it's still in no way, shape, or form your traditional sequencer.
Yeah.
In terms of what we know in the 2000s, 2010s as what we know as a sequencer. You know what I mean? Like, that's not our minds aren't gonna just click with that and be able to translate that the same way into Logic, Ableton, Pro Tools, so forth.
agree.
You know?
But it's interesting because if you understand sequencers in general, like I have a TR8, which is fire because like just watching an 808 work, if anybody comes to my crib and I plug in this drum machine and I play it for them, they can make a beat right away because it's so visual and so simple and the interface is so perfect that you get it right away. But then that kind of helps you understand a sequencer in general. And I think if you understand a sequencer in general and you have patience, the SP will make sense. But yeah. I've watched people give up on the SP in real time, like quick.
Yep.
Real quick. And not that they're wrong for that because everybody works a little bit differently, but if you get it or if you're willing to get it, you can get some good results out of the SP. And I'm glad I have you on here talking about SPs because you're like the SP guy, you know what I mean? And I had Benji, he's the motherfucking, and I had Sudoku, and he's the Koala guy as well, or like Ableton rather. And people are just like, it's cool to like hear y'all dive into these processes. One thing, maybe I shouldn't put it. I'm gonna just say it. I was talking to Kenny Siegel after a show, after the Wood show in Philly. I would like to have him on the show. That's why I didn't want to say nothing, but maybe one day. But he said, I was like, yo, what have you been using for beats or whatever? He's like, yo, I really like the new 404. He said, but I think he said like live, like raw shit sounds better out of the old 404 and mastered shit sounds immaculate out of the new 404. So like when he's DJing, and I don't want to speak for him, I don't remember exactly what he said, but in what I understood from it, like when DJing shit that's already mixed and already mastered and already clean, like that new joint is gonna bring it to the next level. But if it's just some random ass dusty beat and I'm playing it out the old joint, like it hits harder. Do you feel like there's any truth to that? Like the way that you like choose which one to use? Like, yo, I want dust, so I'm going old. I want to process it, so I'm going new. Like, does that affect what you use?
It's crazy. He's totally right, but like, I just use the MK2 now because it's convenient.
Like a mob.
It's easy to load up, put them on the folder, put them onto the pads, and then boom. Like, one day I'm gonna do a show and bring another SP with me because that's how I started. I used to use 2 SPs on my live sets. Yeah. But I've gotten lazy, so I just like to have the one, bring my backpack with me, and then I'm good to go. Yeah. But the MK2 was convenient, bro. Like, to load things onto the OG is a hassle. I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I actually had to load a whole set onto my new joint, old school style, the other day, and it killed me. Like,
yeah, nobody wants to do that.
I don't want to do that.
People want to do that. I just don't want to do that.
But then when you think about the koala workflow, you know, like that's immediate. That's like getting a text message. All right, click, bang, drag. All right, done. You know,
Exactly.
So they all work together. I like to use these things interchangeably. Let me see. Do I have another? I think I have another specific question, and then I'm gonna get into the questions that I ask everybody, and then I'm gonna try and wrap. I don't like this motherfucking shit lasting way too long. I don't need a damn 2-hour podcast. That should be draining. Respectfully, shout out to every podcast.
Nah, for sure.
You know,
For sure.
maybe it's just my attention span. Oh, and also to anybody listening, I want to apologize for any sound inconsistencies. I'm like looking at the wave. I'm like, man, this shit kind of all over the place, but we doing it live and I'm adjusting it in real time. So, and we dropping knowledge. So you got to live with me. This was the second to last question. No, matter of fact, I'll ask it last because it's my favorite question. Second to last question. Do you think, I was listening, let me just ask it. Do you think that your beats sound like your raps?
Yes.
Is that intentional?
Yes.
That's fire. Because I was listening to, like I said, I was listening to you rap earlier over your own beats. And I'm like, man, you rap the way that you make beats. And I think that's pretty consistent for beat makers who rap.
Yeah.
You know, like talking to Sudoku, he's got like a laid back style on his beats and his voice is kind of like in that pocket. You know, even Benji, like he's got a crazy swing to the way he raps in real life, you know, and his beats are crazy swing. And like, I feel like the way you're kind of jazzy with that.
Never thought about it like that.
You rap the way that you make beats. Maybe it's not even a question, but more of like an observation.
Yeah, like I mean, of course I try to have everything blend together the right way, but like rapping the way I make beats, it's a way to put it.
And which brings me to my last question that I had written down specifically. The Jazz Hands beat. First of all, that's one of the best songs ever made. And if you're listening to this and you've never heard that song, go listen to it. And I always look forward to hearing it live. First of all, like, what was it made on? What was the process? And like, can you just tell me anything at all about that beat or about that song?
What did I make it on?
I fucking love that beat.
I think I made it on the MK2. I think I made it on the MK2, and I probably ran it through my other two SPs. So I ran it through. So again, like my main process for the past like year or so has been the MK2, the OG404, and the 303. So this beat, I think I just looped it on the MK2, and then I've ran it on the compressors on the OG and the 303. My thought process on it was like, I don't know, like I was just looking for samples one day, and that one song came up. I forgot what the sample was, but that one song came up, and I don't know, it just made me want to rap. Like I wish I had like some crazy like story behind it, but like it just got me hyped. I was like, oh, this is kind of smooth.
That shit was kind of smooth.
In my head, I'm like, jazzy.
Yo, it immediately, like, you, and everybody gets it right away, bro. Like, that shit hits every time. Again, less of a question, more of just something I needed to say. I appreciate that.
I gotta drop part 2 at some point. I want to figure out what album I want to put it on, because I'm working on a lot of things right now.
Oh, yeah?
But I gotta drop part 2 soon, yeah.
Hey man, we're gonna be paying attention and listening always. And I'm gonna ask my my basic questions real quick. The ones that I'd like to ask everybody. Oh, well, we already answered that one. Okay. Is there any techniques on your beat making device of choice? In this case, I guess the SP404, that you wouldn't mind sharing that people may not know? Just off the top of your head, something like that comes in handy for you that maybe someone who's using the MK2 like might not go right to, and time saver something.
On the MK2?
Yeah. Or the OG, whatever. People are listening. People got different things.
So I'll give something for each one.
Cool.
Let me think for the MK2, because the MK2 is just a lot of things are kind of just there for you.
True.
So I'll give one thing that I do on the MK2 if I wanted to sound a little bit more dusty. Just let me go through it real quick. So
Oh man, he had this shit sitting next to him. He turned that shit on.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's great. We're not doing video for this podcast, so they can't see this, but he pulled out the custom hooks 404.
So for the bus 3 and 4 on the EFX settings,
yeah,
what I usually will have the 404 vinyl sim and the lo-fi, and I have it pretty subtle, so like the cutoff is pretty high, so it's not like you're taking off too much of the beat. I'm probably saying it backwards. I don't know right now, but whatever. You could play around with the settings for it, and then the lo-fi, I have it pretty subtle. I have the frequency at 7 and the flutter at like 13, but I change it every now and then, and that's just because, like, ironically, like if you run those two, and then let's say you throw the 303 vinyl sim onto that,
yeah,
then it actually sounds closer to like a 303 beat.
Interesting.
That doesn't work with every beat because some things sound a little bit too crazy, but you might be able to play with the settings and make it sound better. But
that's a gem.
That's a gem. With the SX, and the same thing can apply for the OG also. People say the pitch sucks, which the pitch does suck.
True.
The SX, OG, the 303, they do.
202 is great.
Yeah, like if you want it to work, what you can do is, let's say you take a sample, you slightly pitch it up. You don't want to pitch it up too high or too low also, but like it gives you some room. This trick gives you some room to pitch it up or down a little bit. So what you can do is, let's say you take a sample you like, you pitch it up a little bit. So you resample the pitched up version into another pad. When you do that, you take that sample, you add the isolator, you're gonna take out a little bit of the mid. Sometimes you're gonna take out a little bit of the lows too, and then you're gonna raise the highs a little bit. Because what happens is with the OG and the SX, for some reason, it brings up the mids a lot, and it makes the beat sound. It makes the sample sound crazy.
Interesting.
So so you take out the low and the mids, and what you do is you resample that. And what you can do is you could add the compressor or the vinyl sim, depending on what SP you're using, and you could test to see how it sounds. If it sounds good, then you're good to go.
Wow.
Let me see. As far as the OG specifically, the lo-fi effect of 14 I believe it is on the OG.
Yeah. No, 14 is the Bit Crush, I thought. Oh, the OG.
The OG, yeah. Yeah, confirm that for me. If you
I got you. It's sitting right here. 14 is lo-fi. Yes, sir. Correct.
Severely underrated.
Clearly, I didn't even know. I thought that was the Bit Crush. That's what's up.
Yeah.
OG and, lo-fi.
There's one trick that I use. I'll tell you when this ends. I don't know.
Yeah. I gotta say that. Don't give away too much sauce if you don't want to. I am not DJ Vlad. You don't gotta tell everything. But
and then the 303. So with the 303, if you want to make a beat on the 303, you're gonna be a bit limited, obviously. But let's say if you want to make the entire beat on it, you can take a drum break, or whether it's something you made or whatever have you, and you can either sample it or you can play it out, right? You could put it on like pads 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then what you could do is you could resample the break onto pad 8.
Right.
So it gives you pads 1 to 7 to resample a beat. and then you could just record that beat onto the next bank, and then you just delete everything else and you have a full beat.
Yeah. No, that's facts. The 303 really does make you get pretty crafty. That shit is you're right, it is limiting, but it's rewarding too. I mean,
yeah, very, very.
It's very rewarding. I drop a 303 tape every year on March 3rd. Shameless self promotion. 303 day. You should drop one with me, bro.
Yo, I have a dream album, a dream rap album.
Okay.
I do the whole thing on the 303.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just need to actually sit down and do it. I have a couple beats that I have on it, like that I'm working towards, and those are crazy. It just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, man, you're gonna be locked in the lab like a mad scientist trying to do some shit like that.
I know,
but more power to you, bro. I fully condone that. Let me see. What was the last joint? Oh yeah, Mount Rushmore. I mean, we're not glazing, but we're already talking about beats, so beat Mount Rushmore. I would say 404 Mount Rushmore, but I don't know if that's too niche.
Yeah, it's too
deep. Yeah, just beats.
Damn.
A lot of pressure though, because there's a lot of easy fun ones though. We got to put the pressure on now.
So like, I'm gonna just say like some favorites off top that like I'm gonna put in like my Mount Rushmore of like who are inspiring to me. Alchemist.
Hell yeah.
Madlib.
Hell yeah.
RZA.
Of course.
The fourth one is tough.
Fourth one always is.
Huh?
So the fourth one always is. I feel like I can always rattle 3 off for it.
The fourth one is tough. I am going to say, I'm gonna say Doom.
Hell yeah.
And I'm gonna say Doom because like Doom is also one of the few people who is a rapper / producer, like true and true, and he raps like how he makes beats.
Absolutely. Because it's dead serious and it's hard, but it's kind of cartoonish, but it's like kind of like, you know what I mean? There's like some animation to it, but it's like it's deep still, like, and it's very technical.
Exactly.
He was a wizard with that MPC, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know. I love Dilla. So like I know people is probably gonna be like, "Oh, you didn't say Dilla," but that's gonna be a lot of people's answer. So
it is gonna be a lot of people's. And shout out to Dilla, and everybody loves Dilla. He's not gonna. Dilla and his legacy do not suffer because you didn't say him first. Right.
I listen to Donuts every week, bro.
Me too.
Every week, bro. And like I can't get a donut without thinking of Donuts.
Right. It's brilliant, and I listen to it. Not only do I listen to it every week, I listen to it on loop because it ends the way that it starts. So like, I literally need to hear it run back because like it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and I think a lot of people who come through this show and a lot of people who like listen to the show are gonna feel a similar way about that. Yeah, legends, and shout out to the legends who came before us and those to come and those with us now. And last question for real, the final John. Who are you listening to or working with, or would you like to shout out? I know you don't got to name every single person alive, but just if you want to say some names, who's some people that you fucking with that like that you fuck with.
Okay, so who I'm working with, me and Snotty are almost done with our album.
Hell yeah.
I'm producing the whole thing. I produced the whole thing, and he's the rapper on it. I actually featured on a track. Me and E1 are like a ways through our EP.
Nice.
100 Handhooks 2 is being worked on.
Hell yeah.
What else? And then who am I listening to?
Pulled out the receipts.
Yeah, I gotta pull out the receipts, bro. So I've been listening to Beneficial Lord.
Beneficial Lord?
Beneficial Lord, yeah.
Wait,
I
who is
fuck with
that?
It's this rapper from Far Rock.
Oh, that's his name. It sounded like an album title. Respectfully, that's what's up.
Yeah, it's Beneficial Lord, yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I know that name is ill. And then Blue Hill Bill.
I've heard the name. Haven't heard any music. Okay, Blue Hill Bill.
I've been listening to Dirt Wave 3 with Pro and Future Wave.
Future Wave is. I need to hit Future Wave up. We don't know each other personally, but I hope he will pull up because I love that dude's beats. He's crazy.
Yeah, nah, he's ill.
And Pro Dillinger is ill.
I still listen to the Blue Carpet with Snotty.
Hell yeah.
Album is stupid, bro. I love that.
Stupid. All that shit knocks real crazy. Anytime I'm like, oh, like I have no problem listening to Future Wave production. I'm like, yeah, this shit going knock every time.
Yeah, and then I've been listening to Boss Man D-Lo.
Hell yeah. That's like that should really make
D-Lo,
but Boss Man is great. That should make you want to trap like Gucci in 06. Like that shit is real, that's real trap music.
Word.
Yeah.
You not lying, son. And then my typical, like, my usual is, like, I listen to a lot of R&B, like, old, like, 80s, 70s R&B. I listen to a lot of reggae, you know what I mean? Jazz, all of that shit.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Well-rounded.
Real quick, when's the last time you listened to Man's World by James Brown?
It wasn't that long ago. I can tell you that much because every so often, and it's like pretty frequent. I'm like, I need to listen to James Brown all day. And for the record, I'm glad you said something because for the record, if you make hip hop or any type of black music at all, black, white, Chinese, whoever the fuck you are, you absolutely need to listen to James Brown pretty periodically.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Man, and I'm gonna take it a step further. If you make beats and you never listen to James Brown, you're doing something wrong. You're doing a disservice to this culture. Let's keep it very real.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let's keep it so real.
Keep it super real. Some of the most sampled drums of all time has come from James Brown songs.
And some of the most replicated musical ideas, like the instance on the one, it's like his emphasis on the one and being like, this is what we do. We're gonna take this idea and loop it for 500 bars, and we're gonna kill it, and everybody's gonna love it. Niggas like, what? Nobody ever did that shit before. Godfather is soul, bro.
Yeah, yo.
I had to get on my soapbox for that one, dude. I'm sorry. That's a real niggas like to throw the word legend around.
Niggas like to throw the word legend around. I couldn't have said any of that better myself.
I'm just saying, man. That's why, this is therapeutic for me, man. I need to the podcast is really for me, bro. I'm gonna say it as much as I can. I gotta talk a little shit sometimes.
That's how some of the best things are made, you know what I mean, for the world. You start off doing it for yourself. Because that's you're doing what you love at the end of the day. It's
just like music, man. I mean, I want to make music that I want to hear.
Right, exactly.
So I want to.
People give me a lot of shit for like resampling and all of that shit. Sometimes I'll just go through samples, record it in, don't even remember what I sampled. People be like, "Yo, why do you do that?" This and the third. It's like I'm making music for me. Like I don't really care about any of the extra shit. And then I end up going back and finding the sample, and I'm like, "Oh, should I use that?"
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll sample the same thing twice, and I don't even remember that I sampled it before.
Exactly.
Because I'll go right to the second half and start sampling something, and then I run it back. I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, I sampled this like when I started making." You know what I mean? Like, I think that keeps it fun. I don't think people should overly emphasize that in a negative way. If anything, people should do the opposite. You should be trying to sample shit that you already sampled and make it sound different. Challenge yourself to do that because it is possible. I promise.
100%. 100%.
Well, oh damn, that's crazy. We just pulled up on 1 hour, and I was trying to keep these joints to roughly an hour. And I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do. Appreciate the music and the jewels and the gems. Before we sign off, is there any other thing that you would like to say to the people?
Listen to 100 Hand Hooks.
Absolutely.
Cop yourself a CD. I got a couple left. If this comes out, when this comes out, and hopefully there'll be some left when you want some. We got REC shows hopefully coming very soon. We still working on that right now. Shout out Butter, shout out Leon.
Shout out Butter, shout out Leon. For real. Solid individuals right there.
Yeah, those are my guys. Shout out Snotty too, because he's helped out a lot too in the later half of REC.
Shout out Snotty.
Yeah, that's about it.
Word. And again, shout out you, man, because, like I said, that was my first show coming back to the East Coast, and that was in New York. And I love Philadelphia, always will, always have. Don't let them spin it the wrong way, but I always get so much love in New York, and a lot of that started when I was pulling up, and that was the first show. So I'm always hold you in high regard for that and appreciate you. And yeah, man, we finna sign off. That's episode 3. Like, subscribe, comment, share. You know what I mean? We signing off, and y'all have yourself a wonderful day.